Hope will arise out of the ashes of our past broken relationships, fractured families, and personal struggles. Come walk a mile with me as we allow Jesus to clean out the mess and organize the rest. Welcome to the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I am your host, Maria Wingard. Grab your shoes, lace them up as we start strolling through this week's episode. Navigating holiday guests. Holidays can be difficult for a multitude of reasons, and mostly due to the guest list. Who to invite, who refuses to come, who loves to hate, and who is no longer residing this side of heaven. There is no easy one-size-fits-all solution, but a conversation I had with my mom might be helpful for navigating the impossible. This year, my husband Kevin had to undergo shoulder surgery the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, so we made no plans, knowing he would need to be in our own home with zero car travel. It's weird being at home alone for a major holiday, especially with a patient recovering from surgery. The kind calls and texts are heartwarming, and the Thanksgiving trimmings were all here, but it's just not the same as being surrounded by all the festivities, for it glaringly highlights those who have chosen to remove themselves from our lives, along with those missing because death ended the conversation. A close friend texted that a husband of a fellow friend had a heart attack and died right after they ate their Thanksgiving dinner. Somehow, the death blow hitting on the holiday tends to sting a little bit harder. Shortly after that, another young lady texted wanting help navigating her rocky relationship with her parents. My mom had called me first thing in the morning to check on Kevin, and the tinge of sadness in her voice could not be missed. Only one of my brothers would be hanging out with her, as Thanksgiving celebrations would be much later for our family this year. They had been invited over to Mom's best friend's house, but Mom felt out of place. Her reason? She never went anywhere without Dad except for ladies' functions. The real reason? Being alone without all of her kids at a holiday and without Dad in all of her tomorrows. Surgery aside, Kevin and I have our own family situations to navigate, and my advice to my mom was straight from Scripture. Mom, you may not have your first pick for the holidays, but you can find joy with your 20th pick, and your bestie's house is definitely not 20th down on the list. So go, enjoy yourself. Let yourself enjoy the day, whatever it may look like, because you can't have Dad with you, and your children can't be there due to work and surgery. So please don't waste the day being sad over what you do not have, but rejoice in what you can. Matthew 22, the parable of the wedding feast, helps us navigate these situations. When you can't have the people you want to celebrate the day with, for whatever reason, then find someone to celebrate with you. Find a way to pivot and move on, being content whatever the circumstances. Philippians 4:11 through 13. The reasons could be legit due to death, work, or surgery, or they could simply not want to spend time with you, like this biblical account. For people have not changed. They still abuse our generosity like they did the kings in this parable. Those wedding guests made up every excuse in the book to not come celebrate a major life event, and our hearts are crushed by the rejection of those we do life with in this same way. I believe we have all had an event we planned where we wanted it celebrated, and it felt like others rejected our milestone. We have also all been one to dish it out, even if it's unintentional, like Kevin and I not being at Thanksgiving due to his surgery. My mom still misses celebrating with her children. Nothing changes that. When we find ourselves on the receiving end, I believe it's important to pivot and find people to enjoy the day with, either by opening up our home to those who are available or accept an invitation elsewhere. We only get so much time to invest here on earth. Spend it wisely. Wasting time wishing and longing only hurts you. This wedding feast parable amazes me in the quickness this man filled his home without continuing to beg people to love or be with him. There was a celebration to be had, and that was not going to be derailed by those who wanted to withhold their presence. So today, when you are facing that difficult family member, ask the Lord, how do I love them? If you want me to show love to my enemies, surely I can find a way to soften my heart towards my family. Now, this statement does not sanction abusive situations, and neither does God, for we see swift justice served by the king towards the mistreatment of his servants. I simply believe, more often than not, people do not want to invest time navigating normal relational conflicts. In today's overly offended society, we use the word boundary and no contact as a weapon that is just truly the word shunning dressed up in a new package. Hopefully, this will show you biblically how to honor the boundaries set and adjust your expectations. It's okay to move on when others reveal their heart towards having you in their life. Like this parable, find a way to send out additional invites. Open your heart to new relationships. We can want close relationships and be really sad that the other person does not want to engage the way we want to, while at the same time choosing to not let it control our life. If this is you, take the time to grieve, because without both parties wanting to increase their capacity for engaging, it will never develop into something deep and meaningful. This is why you may feel frustrated and hurt. Realize today that you cannot do their part for them and adjust your expectations accordingly. Relationships are a two-way street where both the privilege and the responsibility of you should be increased or diminished based on their participation. This is what we see in this parable. The privilege of access was removed and others given the opportunity. If your heart is sad today, see where you may be able to accept or extend an invitation to find gratitude. I am grateful you decided to walk a mile with me, your host, Maria Wingard, on the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I pray that through our conversation, Jesus reveals how he is bridging broken to breakthrough as we stroll through another mile in this journey called life. Hope will arise if you let him in your life today. To listen to past episodes or find out more, please visit hopewillarise.com.